Раз-раз. Бонжур, хату интеллигенция. Заключительная часть Shadowrun. Финальная. Продолжить. Сверился я все-таки с этим самым. С интернетиком, с прохождениями. Глянул мельком. Да, действительно осталось 3 миссии. Вот. Плюс там есть какие-то еще дополнительные. Но дополнительные я, наверное, брать не буду. Все-таки дополнение... про камерное, так сказать, приключение, про продолжение историй. Не буду распинаться на всякие мелкие поручения. Да и не обязательно это. Игра и без того хороша. А кто захочет сам углубиться, тот, естественно, пройдет. Я так понимаю, это два дополнительных квеста у пирата. 2 забега. Но это уже действительно такое побочное. Возможно, если бы игра была с локализацией родной, еще и с озвучкой, то я бы, возможно, прошелся по дополнительным заданиям. А так, увы. И так порой заплетается язык. Идем к капитану этой посудины. Пиратской. Капитан Утама или Лама. A weathered troll with a relaxed posture and a commanding presence dominates the cabin. Her face is serious, but her dual-colored eyes glint with curiosity as she runs them over you. Jomo. It is my honor to introduce you to Captain Utama, our most gracious and benevolent host. My captain, I thank you for your generous hospitality. I remain your humble servant and offer my deepest respect. Straighten your damned back, Jomo. Pay your respects if you must, but I have no use for men who bow and escape. Jomo's back snaps straight, and he hurriedly retreats to his original position. His smile remains as relaxed as ever, but you can't help but notice the bead of perspiration that traces its way down his forehead. As for you, Shadowrunner, you're welcome aboard the Benten. Mind my rules, and you may stay here for as long as you wish. Okay. No offense, but you are a pirate. Why are you being so generous with us? Money, why else? I didn't grant you asylum out of the goodness of my heart. Savor this moment, Vlados. You're looking at the end result of me calling in the very last of my favors with corporates. My hospitality is not given, Shadowrunner, it is rented. Now, before you get settled in, there is a small matter that we must discuss. I'm listening. This is my ship. Your friend here has paid your passage, yes. But if you've proved to be a disruptive presence on this vessel, I will not hesitate to have you tossed overboard. Unless you relish the idea of swimming with awakened sharks and active minds, you will mind your manners during your stay. Окей. В целом понял. Перспективы радужные. Don't worry, I'll stay out of your sailor's hair. I certainly hope so. You wouldn't be the first guest that I've had to put over the side. All of the splashing, the screaming, it's quite distracting to the men working on deck. They won't make a peep, Captain Utama, I promise. This is gonna be home for the foreseeable future, Vlados. We've got nowhere else to go, and I'm fresh out of strings to pull. We get Mitsuhama something that they can use, something irrefutable, or we resign ourselves to life on the open sea. Okay. Then we find something that they can use. That's right, we do. And we start with Lamb's PDA. Meet me at my command trailer. We're gonna crack that thing, and we're going to find some answers. Вот сейчас будет забавно, если я побегу ее встречать и окажусь там раньше, чем она, а она там уже стоит. Ну, естественно, она уже там. Как удобно они все тут погрузили. Да, она уже там. Q's common trailer is strangely peaceful. The crew of system experts that formerly managed a multitude of terminals inside are nowhere to be found, and the omnipresent hum of the trailer's computer banks has fallen silent. The senior inspector glances up from her desk, half turning to face you. Good, you're here. Another headache? Yeah, migraine. Feels like someone lit a fire behind my eyes. If I were you, I'd get that checked out. Utama must have a doctor stashed away somewhere. I'll be fine. I already know what's causing this, and it won't be a problem anymore. I ditched it after Lamb turned on us. Your necklace, you mean? Yeah, it's hard to use. Like looking through lenses ground to someone else's prescription. Made the drain from spellcasting hurt more too. Truth is, I've been in constant pain for the past couple of months. Cost of doing business, I guess. Whoa, Troska. Sorry to hear, but you're tough. You'll push through it. Yeah, I will. I won't be on the other side of this anytime soon, though. The drain that I soaked up, breaking us out of that trap, didn't help either. I'm not at 100%, and I probably won't be for months. Печально. Привет, Яна. Maybe we should wait until you've recovered. We'll be safe here until then. No, no way. We've got to make a move in the next couple of days, tops. If we wait until I'm fully healed, say a month or two, it might be too late. It's fair to assume that Crate's client has some sort of agenda, and that's hostile to Mitsuhama's interests. I have to get to the bottom of this before they achieve it. We've got a job to do, Vlados. Headache or no, I intend to do it. Let's get to it then. You fish Lamb's PDA out of the evidence bag that Q had you put it in. The device is in bad shape, its case warped and bent, but the screen winks on at your command. The display is streaked with Lamb's dried blood. It looks like red gelatin, thin and watery. You can just make out the next underneath. Browse the PDA's file system. Inbox. Read the first message. From Q Wallace to Lem Andy. Package delivery. Everything is ready on our end. Now you need to hold up your end of the deal. The package has to be delivered before the wildcard leaves the evidence room. And this whole thing is going to get messy. I am the package, I guess. Making me the wildcard. What an idiot. If he wanted to speak in code, he could have been a little less obvious about it. If things do get messy, it's your ass, Lamb. Crate want this to go by the numbers, and that means both the package and the wildcard caught in the same trap. We can't chance the package catching a bullet before we can question her, and a firefight in the hallway could raise questions. You know your job, do it well and you'll get what you were promised. Cool. Things didn't go the way they'd planned. Crate must be pissed. I hope that she's furious. Hell, I hope that she chokes on it. Second message from Crate. Mr. Lamb. Much as I appreciate your concern for the citizens of Hong Kong, it's not your place to question my tactics. The behavior of the SDU is none of your concern. The changes that you hope to see will never come about while Mitsuhama is viewed favorably by the Executive Council. Our client wants to see its reputation tarnished, and a certain amount of handedness on our part is necessary to make that happen. It's all a part of the plan, Senior Inspector. You do your job, and let me do mine. Great. Alright, so that's where Crate and her people come into this. The massacre at the end of the Kowloon City riots, the police brutality that led to riots in the first place, they were all intended to hurt Mitsuhama's PR. What's the end goal? Why would anyone spend this much money to tank the reputation of their own police force? The message said something about changes. It was pretty hazy on the details, though. Yeah, hazy. Let's keep reading. Mailbox menu, outbox. First message to Ku Wallace. Alright, Ku, I've reconsidered your proposal and I want in. You were right. Kyu is a lost cause. She's corporate to the bone, and trying to argue with her is like talking to a brick wall. She doesn't give a damn about what the HKPF is supposed to stand for. All that matters to her is the company's bottom line. Oh, fuck you, you little weasel. At least I don't turn on my people for a paycheck. It's funny, I used to be such an idealist. I joined the HKPF because I wanted to help people. But that isn't what this organization is about, whatever the recruiters say. Good cops don't have a place in Mitsuhama's police force. The corporate culture of the HKPF either changes them if they're weak or chews them up if they're strong. Either way, they wind up broken and can't be a part of that machine anymore. The big change you are talking about, it's a change to fix things, a real, honest-to-God chance. And so, as much as I hate your methods, I'm going to help you. I'm not doing it for the money, I'm doing it because I want the HKPF to be better. And this is a chance to make that happen. A remote chance maybe, but it's better than nothing. Big chance? What do you think he's talking about? I don't know, but I don't like the sound of it. Tell Crate I'm in. I can bring you Q, and I can help you to dismantle this task force. But you should know that if you've been bullshitting me, if things don't change for the better, I'm coming after you. You can count on that. Lem. Tough talk. Think he could have backed it up? Lem? No, not in a million years. The fool wouldn't have gotten himself killed one way or another. Still, we learned something here. Lem was convinced that Crate and her people were working towards some sort of shake-up in the HKPF. A big change. Ominous words. Yeah, they are. Let's keep reading, see what else we can turn up. Second message. To Tong Irene. Irene, I know that you have every reason to hate the police. But hear me out. What's happening to your family was wrong. I'm gonna do everything I can to make it right. I can't bring your husband back, but I can help make sure that the constables who kill him pay for their crime. Big changes are coming, I promise. Between then and now, please allow me to cover your mortgage payments. I'm recently come into a large sum of money, and I want you to have it. Consider it a show of good faith until I can bring you the justice that you deserve. I don't know anything about this. Must have been related to some old case of Lem's from before we got assigned to the task force. Or maybe it was a personal thing, a friend of his, or a romantic interest. It was someone he cared about, that much is clear. Feels like a motive to me. This woman's husband died. Lem felt guilty and he signed on with Cray to try and make amends. Yeah, maybe. Grouping up the people responsible for the Kowloon City massacre out of guilt, though. What kind of ass backwards thinking is that? Yeah, well, can't make an omelette and all that. This whole thing raises more questions than it answers. Let's keep going. There has to be more in there for us to find. Third message. This message has been corrupted. A meaningless stream of garbled text fills the screen. Okay, mailbox menu. Leave chat, live chat folder. Read the chat exchange. Did you authorize a second mind probe of Runner while he was unconscious? I'm looking at a transcript of the interview, and he insists that 2 mages were screwing around with his brain last night. No, it was against you having him scanned in the first place, remember? Why would I give authorization for 2 different mages to poke around in his brain? I don't know, maybe you wanted 2 sets of findings to check against one another. I know that you have trust issues where magic is concerned. I didn't authorize anything, Lamb, and unless we have a second magical interrogator that I don't know about on the task force, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that he's making it up. So what, you just want to dismiss this? You don't think it warrants further investigation? In a perfect world, I'd tell you to knock yourself out, but right now, in the world that we live in, there's no time for that. We are too close to crates to go hunting for a mystery mage who may or may not exist. The council doesn't want any more delays, Lem. Neither does Mitsuhama, so drop it and do your job. I don't want to have to tell corporate about this. Alright, Fee, you win for now, but this discussion isn't over. Yeah, Lamb, it is. Keep going, Vlados, let's see what else there is to see. Junk mail folder? Lamb's junk mail folder is packed to the gills with all manner of unsolicited messages, scam mail, advertisements for everything from illicit drugs to designer electronics, and countless pornographic images fill the screen. It'd take days to sort through all of this with anything useful, and searching by trial and error would likely expose the PDA to a whole host of nasty worms and viruses. Ew, remind me never to open my junk folder. Search the junk mail folder for tagged messages. Crate? Crate? No. HKPF? No. Mitsuhama? Ой, Mitsuhama. Нет. Ну, тогда я даже не знаю. Return to the main menu. Search trash bin. A little dipping reveals a file buried in the PDA's trash can. Looks like Clem intended to get rid of it, but he died before he got around to pulling the trigger on it. Read the uncovered file. From crate to Lem and the subject instructions, next steps. Mr. Ku tells me that you've accepted our offer. Welcome aboard. Once you've delivered Q, report to me and we'll have you relocated to the typo facility. You'll be safe here. We have the location under 24-hour guard for obvious reasons. From there on out, all that you need to do is keep your head down and count your money. You keep up your ends and you've soon to be a very wealthy and influential man. If Crate's clan, whoever it is, has something worth guarding in Typo, then that's we need to check out next. Let's keep going. This is good intel, but we need to get everything out of this PDA that we can. Так уже ж всё. I think that's everything we're getting. Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe you're right. Kyo turns the PDA over in her hands, then flips the device power switch. The screen flickers and dies. She rubs her eyes, drawing your attention to the dark hollows underneath them. Alright, so here's what we've got. Crate and her people are working for someone powerful and rich, probably a megacorp, but we don't know who. They are trying to tank Mitsuhama's reputation with the executive council so that they can bring about some kind of change inside the HKPF. And they've got a facility in Taipo that they're keeping under a heavy guard. Sounds about right to me. It isn't much, is it? We don't even know who we are fighting against. It's enough. We even know where we are going next. Taipo. You're right. That's where we will find our answers. We will need a plan. We can't just go in blind. Calling the big guns, talk to Mitsuhama Corporate. My credibility with them has more or less bottomed out at this point, but I'll see what I can do. You go back to your boat and inform the rest of your team. I'll call you when I know more. Got it. I'll go talk to them. Good, I'll be in touch. Сейчас соберемся и пойдем на Type of Facility, судя по всему. Все вместе. Well, everything seems to be more or less in one piece. Did you and Kyo get anything figured out? More to the point. Do you know who we are fighting yet? Nope. But we know where we are going. Crate's client has a warehouse in Taipo that the SDU is guarding. That's not what I was hoping to hear. I don't like going into a fight without knowing who I'm up against. We are trying to bring the executive council into it. They might be able to help. Doubtful. In my experience, resolutions almost never come so easily, but perhaps. Your PDA buzzes, cutting him off. Q. Answered the call. Q's face flickers onto the PDA's view screen. She looks haggard. Even more so than before. The call was a bust, Lados. I've still got a few execs willing to go to bed for me, but the rest have already written us off as a failure. Nobody's gonna risk speaking of a corp war on my say so, and I can't even tell them who they'd be fighting against. We are gonna need a hell of a lot of more than we've got if you're going to convince anyone to move on this. I guess we're heading to Taipo? Yeah, looks that way. Look, Vladas, I told you that you and your team would be well compensated for helping me, but I never really specified exactly what your reward would be. I think that you should know. You've got my attention. We'll start with the bad news. I can't put a monetary value on what your team will receive. Truth be told, I'm gonna have to wrestle with the corporate to get them much of anything. A lot of the cost of renting out of the Benton came out of what had been set aside for your rewards. Excuse me, what? You will still get paid. I promise you that. It just won't be enough to retire on. Nothing I can do about it. That's just the way it has to be. Yeah, I'm sure it is. We never should have trusted. As for you, Vlados, you're a different story. For you, I've got something better than money. Keep talking. I can get your scene restored. Duncan's too. I can give you your old lives back. Holy shit. That's right. Imagine the doors that will open for you. You can return to Seattle, pretend that none of this ever happened. Hell, you can do whatever you want, and you can do it completely above board. What I'm offering you is the freedom to make your own choices again. The same freedom that Crate and Josephine Tan and Kindley Chen took away from you. Anyway, I just wanted you to know what's on the line before we headed out to Taipo. I'm going to get my kit ready. I'd recommend that you do the same. I'm on it, let's finish this. Go to Jomo when you're ready. He will sneak us into Taipo and we'll bring this thing to a close. Oh, and Vlados. I can't promise that we'll come back on the Banten after this is over. Take in the sights now, because it might be the last chance you get. You don't have to tell me twice. Oh, and Vlados. Your boss rock, that Kong that you took from Eddie Pang, got broken in the move. I found it in about 50 pieces then we got here. It's in the wastebasket under my desk if you still want it, but I can't imagine it's worth much anymore. Sorry about that. The video feeds, crackles and dies. Q's face winks off of your PDA and the display goes dark. This presents us with something of a conundrum. With your scene restored, you could travel back to Seattle, but I could not go with you, and even if you remained in Hioi, our professional relationship would have come to an end. A difficult decision. I'll put some thought into it. See that you do. For now, we have a job to prepare for. Kindly Chen wishes us to complete this task, and so will we, payday or no. This conspiracy could pose a threat to the Yellow Lotus, and we cannot say with certainty whether it does or not until we enter that warehouse in Taipo. Yeah, right, get ready, we've got a secure facility to raid. Так, ты говоришь, у тебя в трейлере, а туда зайти-то можно вообще, нет? Нет, судя по всему. Ну, нет, так и нет. Джомо, полетели. Things are sorted out now. Utama happy? You too? How can Jomo help you today? Let's finish this. Take me to Taipo to face crates. Travel to Taipo. You sure? Might be a one-way trip. Yeah, take me there. Take me there. Так, ну и нету. Киу нету в списке. Киу нету в списке. Так, изобиль с гранатометом берем. Самурая, так и быть, берем. Гоббит берем. Дункана в этот раз не берем. Подтвердить. Taipo. You watch the Benten drift slowly out of view as the drunken mistake bobs turbulently on dark, choppy waves. Angry rain dimples the water's surface and obscures the world around you in a haze. Before long, the warehouse appears on the horizon. Great grey silhouettes looming just beyond the docks. Crate and her people are guarding a warehouse here. You don't know what you're going to find inside, but this is the last lead that you have to follow. In the conspiracy within the SDU is going to be stopped. It has to happen tonight, in that warehouse. Kyo sits nearby, her fingers pressing into her temples. A sign of her distress, no doubt, but despite her evident discomfort, she still looks present and alert. Taipo, once a small fishing village, now encrusted with cheap industrial warehouses, grows even closer. Water weeps down from the sky and you bump up against the docks. You've arrived. Так, команда. Кому-то можно впарить эту штуку? Гайчу на... Да, он сближается. Что, мне дадут киу пятым членам команды? Карму не надо. Cold rain lashes your face as you take your place on the Taipo dock. The storm is loud, practically deafening. Periodic thunderclaps roar like distant cannon fire, and the flash of lightning stabs at your eyes. Q stands beside you, bracing herself against the storm. Jomo, any chance anyone caught sight of us on the way in? You insult me. Traitorous pigs were as blind to our approach as... Yes, we've got it, thank you. Alright, we're here. We know that the SDU is patrolling the area, but we have no idea what else we might find. We still don't know who's behind this whole thing. Perhaps you should go exploring, eh? Do a little of the ledge work that you Shadowrunners are so fond of. Exploring could help us, yes, but it could also sink us. If I know Kraid, she will have kill teams stationed all over Taipo. The more that we wander around, the more resistance we are going to face, and the last thing we want is to tip them off that we are here. GLaDOS, when we do find a group of Kraid's people, we need to be surgical. Take them from ambush if possible and kill them quickly. That means that we creep ahead, not sprint. And if we spot them, we shoot them before they catch sight on us. Got it? Don't worry about me. You're going to be alright. I'm as good as I'm gonna be. Head still pounding like a jackhammer, but I'll manage. We've got the element of surprise on our side. On top of that, visibility and comm reception have been short to shit by the storm. All of these things are good for us. Yeah, I just love Shadowrunning in zero visibility weather, with ice water surging around my knees and no feeling in my fingers. It's fucking great. Alright, let's do it. Lead on, GLaDOS, and remember, when you see hostiles, take them out. If they manage to raise an alarm, you'd better believe that security personnel will flood into the warehouse, and that's a complication that we don't need. Got it. Так, сохранялочка на всякий случай F5, пока нас не заметили, и пока я уже прощелкал все диалоги. Куда мне, собственно, надо пробраться? Ух, ядрит Мадрид, здоровенная карта. Здоровенная карта, большой район. Вот теперь осталось понять, на каком именно этапе он меня увидит. На этом этапе F9. Load game, да. Качну-ка я себе меткости немного на всякий случай. Думаю, пригодится. Давай. Грузись, игра. Так, хорошо. Значит, 53 кармы. Райфл. Хедшот. Сюда. Рейндж комбат. Райфл. Сюда. Квикнес. Шанс хита в рейндж комбате, да? Погнали. Ой, хорошо. Вот это не очень. Никто не предупреждал, что здесь есть еще. О, какой неприятный промах. Найс. Так, с F5. После каждого замеса надо F5. Сюда куда-то, да? Так, ну поехали. Зобель, начинаешь? Оу, 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 оу. Неприятненько. Ну, вроде изи. We'll still have no idea what we're gonna find in there. Are you sure you want to go in without doing more ledge work out here first? When we kick in that door, the odds are good that we're gonna have a fight on our hands, and we don't even know who we are fighting against yet. Предлагаете мне облазить локацию? Да хрена лысого. It doesn't matter who's in there. We're going to have to fight them regardless, so let's get to it. If that's what you want, right at the moment I don't have the energy to argue with you. I'm not gonna lie, Vlados, I'm really hurting over here. I think I'm feeling the delayed after effects of that magical energy I soaked up back at the police station. Look, I'll do my best to see this through, but if anything should happen, it won't. You're gonna make it. I'll do my best. Lead the way. Давайте зайдем. Так. Набежало ублюдков. Набежало ублюдков. Так, ну давайте посмотрим, что у нас тут по шансам. Шансы 59% максимум. 57. Давай 59 посмотрим. Ага, понял. Понял, принял. В этого. Нормально. Хорошо. Блин, надо бы их повыкуривать для начала. С укрытий. Вот одного выкурили. Второго выкурили. В смысле промах? Там процент был около миллиарда. Чё за промахи? Чё за приколясы такие? Где это такое видано? Так, 92. Убей его, я не знаю. Хорош. Хорош. О, сильно зарядил. Так, изобиль. Давай сюда. Сюда. О, armor damaged. Перезарядка. Так, Гайчу спит. Гайчу вообще плевать. Найс, попали. Попали. Так, теперь надо куда-то две очереди всадить. Этот спит, этот такой себе. Ну, 93, в принципе. Идеальный кандидат на две очереди в лицо. Нормально так промахнулся. Так, перезарядиться. Найс. Ну, с одним как-нибудь уже разберемся. Хилки все на КД. Думаю, зарубим. As the sound of gunfire died down, Q's eyes lock on the transplast windows that line the western wall of the room. On the other side of the window sits the most impressive armory you've ever seen. Sinister black and yellow vehicles emblazoned with stylized logos sit parked in front of the stacked cases of ordnance. A half-track armed with a battery to surface-to-air missiles dominates the center of the room. The vehicles are military-grade, designed for battlefield use, but the insignia of the Hong Kong police force adorns each one. Fuck me. Well, that answers that question. This warehouse belongs to Ares. Look at all of this. Knight Errant branded police vehicles, Ares regalia on the HKPF material, and enough firepower to take our half the buildings in Victoria Harbour. You know what this means? They're planning on taking control of the HKPF. They're going to try to pull the police contract from Mitsuhama, maybe even merge it with Night Errant. And when they do, they'll have total control of security in the free enterprise zone. Звучит немного зловеще. That was the big change that Lem was working towards, a brand new police force under Ares macro technology. Right, and Ares' first order of business was making Mitsuhama look bad so they could swoop in and take the contract for themselves. Months of police brutality, hundreds of people massacred in Kowloon City riots, all to help Ares win a fucking contract. If they're already this entrenched here, if they're gone so far as to rebrand their damned artillery, they must be close to making their move. This enough proof to get Mitsuhama off their asses and into the fight. More than enough. We'll have to secure the location first. Though, they won't send their own troops up against Ares. The last thing that they want is to spark off a corporate war. What are we supposed to do? Clear the place out ourselves? Exactly. If we can secure this warehouse, everybody wins. Mitsuhama gets the evidence it needs to haul Ares before the executive council. I get back into corporate's good graces and you get your sins back. We just need... Kyo abruptly stumbles, clutching her temples. Kyo, are you okay? I'll be what's wrong? Everything. I'm seeing double. Can't think straight. I can fight it off. I'll be okay. I just need a second to catch my breath. Without another word, she pitches forward. Her face hits the floor with a dull smack. Great. That's just wonderful. What's wrong with her? Kyo struggles to lift her body off the ground, groaning through clenched teeth. The cord stands on her neck, and her temples have flushed nearly purple. She holds herself, trembling like a newborn foal. Try to revive her? You do your best to bring Q back to her senses. She's conscious, but borderline incoherent. Her eyes are badly bloodshot and half rolled back into her skull. This isn't good. Q's mouth falls open, but the sound that comes out is unintelligible. Something between a moan and a whimper. Tears begin to well in the corners of her eyes. A crackle of static from the warehouse's PA system cuts in, drowning Q out. Moments later, a cold voice pours through the speakers. Hello, Mr. Runner. Hello, Senior Inspector Q. Welcome to the future site of the Toho Harbor Complex. You know, you really should have stayed with your pirate friends. You weren't hurting anyone out there. We probably would have left you alone. It still isn't too late to turn back. Go talk to the orc on the docks, get back to his fancy boat, and never set foot on Free Enterprise Zone territory again. Or don't, and die in this warehouse. The choice is yours. The PA system crackles again, then dies. Q's eyes flutter, then focus. She turns her head to stare at you. Vlados, listen, I can't help you. Another hit of drain might kill me. I don't think that I could even walk straight right now. Yeah, I'm getting that. You're going to have to finish this. I'm useless. Just remember what you stand to gain when this is through. You can win this, with or without me, you have to. Ну да, кидалово одного батлмага с хилом. Меня лишили. You choose a fine time to get dizzy, lady. Wasn't my choice, just how it happens. Kill Crate. Come to me when it's done. We'll radio Mitsuhama, turn this place over to them, and I'll get your life back. Get your life back. Deal with Crate. Deal with Crate, я думаю, не будет так легко, как кажется. Всего лишь Deal with Crate. Там, скорее всего, целая армия будет. С целой армией могу и не справиться. Так, F5. F5. Терминал. Что за терминал? This terminal has been wired into a large, vaguely sinister-looking device that has been mounted to the warehouse floor. Cold contact plates line the base of the device, and a variety of articulated arms hang idly from its 4 elevated pylons. The terminal's display winks on at your approach. Power dock 1.11. Charging control station. Searching for paired slave device. Device missing or out of range. Slave device. А чё они заряжать-то должны? Какую-то энергетическую пушку или что? Так, берем. Ресалки явно пригодятся. Так, и тут врываются против... Ух, ёшки-матрёшки. Ядрит Мадрид. Ну ладно, еще эти мелкие петухи, но вот эти паукообразные роботы, это что-то выглядит очень больно. Прям очень. Три очка надо, окей. Я вас понял. Я вас понял. Ё, блокирует урон от взрывчатки. Серьезно? Серьезно? Чё там за броня такая? Твою ж налево. Давай попробуем мечом ударить. Мисс. Класс. Мисс. Так, 10 урона. Ну, кстати, я ожидал большего. Минус АП это, конечно, неприятно. И еще минус АП это совсем неприятно. Но вообще, я думал, будет совсем печально. А тут как-то попроще, попроще. Так, ты... Воруем раз. Давай сюда. Брони у них капец до хрена. Так, хилим главного героя. Жестко. Жестко. Прям очень жестко. А можно на 77%, ну, попадать? Я не знаю. Хоть немного. Хоть чуть-чуть попадать по противнику. Как-то совсем стыдно. С такими шансами. Давайте курсе дадим. Хрена не лечатся. Жестко лечатся, однако. Так, крысу на 14 урона. Крысу на 14 урона, это жестко. Угу. Следующий ход надо будет. Если еще жив буду, гайчу отведу тогда. Так, крысы я лишился. Что прискорбно. Как ты промахиваешься больше 80%? Как? Объясните мне, как? А эта херовина лечится на 30 хп в ход. И хрен ты что и сделаешь. Жесть. Печаль, тоска, печаль. Тоска, печаль. Меня уже этого отобрали. Сюда иди, прячься. Задолбал хилиться, если честно. Просто задолбал. Сколько же можно-то, а? Так, ты. Summon Spirit. Воскрешалити у тебя есть. Надо пробовать. Промах. Но попробовать стоило. Попробовать стоило. Да капец, опять плюс 30 хп. И выносит, блин, на 60 хп. Как эту херовину убивать вообще? А у них еще и подкрепления приходят. Кто-нибудь может мне объяснить? Как воевать в этой миссии? Как? Что вы мне предлагаете делать? Сейчас, блин, в Google пойду. Пока непонятно. Пока совсем непонятно. You fucking kidding me. You fucking kidding me. Да какого черта, хватит? Куда? Куда? Эти еще хилятся на полную катушку. Так, хорошо, чел, ты можешь что-то намутить на этом терминале? Combat Control Module. Хорошо, а ты можешь захватить Понял. У меня, конечно же, нету этих Combat Control модулев. Сосаем лапу, да? По своим попал. К сожалению. Вы задолбали хилиться, ребята. Это что-то Unreal. Отъезжаю. Отъезжаю. Хо-хо-хо. Да. Нет, слишком дофига. Это слишком дофига. Это не вывозится. Здесь должен быть какой-то другой путь. Надо терминалы типа подключать. Возможно, роботы на мою сторону станут. Просто так это не вывезется. Unreal. Unreal. Тайпо. Не, погоди. Load game. Сюда давай. Начало битвы мне явно не поможет. А так все хорошо начиналось. Пообщался на корабле. Пообщался с той. Пообщался с теми. Все красиво, все шикарно. Так, надо посмотреть тогда все предыдущие залы. Может где-то что-то тут можно нажать. И выйти ж нельзя. Так, хорошо. Пока выходят роботы, я буду гуглить. Тайпо. Level. Shadowrun. Shadowrun. Так, что пишут? Синапсис прохождения. Первая дверь пустая. Вторая дверь туда-сюда. Дичь какая. То есть, получается, я со всеми этими терминалами взаимодействовать не могу. Арест Тарантула. Please connect compatible combat control module. А ну-ка, combat control module. Combat. Так. Так, head back to the first intersection and continue straight. The train yard is immediately to your right after the intersection. Dispatch 5 SDU enemies there. If you have not accessed the electric substation, you might need to split your party and rush to kill all 5 on time. Then collect the following loot. Combat control module on data stick inside. Ага. То есть улучшенный декинг позволяет контролировать этих роботов. Либо я могу вернуться назад на улицу, там найти этот Combat Control модуль. Ага. И надо убрать 2 волны врагов, то есть 4 танка. 4 танка, Карл. Я этого не вывезу. Это невывозимо. Просто как их убирать, я хз. Их ничего не берет. Ничегошеньки. Да и урон слабый проходит. Так. Body Strength Willpower на 5 ходов. 3 АП, 2 мувмента на 1 раунд. 3 АП, 2 мувмента на 1 раунд. Хорошо, давай попробуем. Один робот кое-как уничтожил. Не знаю, один раз попробую. Если сейчас будут очень сильно бить, то вернусь назад И попробую на улице подобрать этот модуль проклятый. Потому как это выглядит очень невывозимый бой. Просто унижают в ноль. Просто в нулину. Не достаю туда, да? Печаль. Она есть неофициально. Русификатор там любительский. Он качественный, хороший, но мне впадло было заморачиваться. Я как с коробки поставил, так и играю. Первая часть из коробки есть на русском, а вторая, третья нет. Поэтому вторую, третью играю так. Меткий. Ну, хоть так, хоть так. Так, попробуем отвлечь на себя внимание. Может, робот не будет? Нет, робот будет. Робот будет. Но этот уже практически не жилец. И хилится на 30. Куда ты хилишься на 30, паскуда? Совесть имей. У меня в принципе таких хилов нету. В принципе. Спит? Спит. Окей, можно идти дальше. Можно идти дальше. С ума меня сведет с этими плюс 28 хп. Сколько можно хилиться-то, а? Не хватает, все равно не хватает. Так, крысу ты не позовешь сейчас. Давай тогда хил. Сюда один ход. Ход на перезарядку. А ты... Мы пробуем с ножа зарезать робота. Получилось. Еще 2 робота. TX, еще 2 робота пришло. Ты вызывать пока не можешь, пока этот жив, я правильно понимаю? Судя по всему, да. Тут еще будут вбегать мелкие, значит, на них облачко можно сберечь. Пробуем добить этого тогда. Так, и похилиться. А эти вдвоем фокусят робота. Да попадишь ты. 86%. Издевательство какое-то. 63%, да? 73. Понял. Намек понял. Еще бомжи прибежали. До хрена бомжей прибежало. До хрена. Так, этого украсть. Да, это РПГ. Миссия впритык, почему бы нет? Все как кубик ляжет. Все как кубик ляжет. В идеале мне бы еще кем-то добраться, забрать эти ресалки. Наверное, Гайчу сходит. Так, ну а с этими надо как-то в упор, наверное, разбираться. Мне кажется, меня сейчас все равно числом просто вынесут. Даже с одним этим тарантулом будет очень больно. Willpower, strength, body. Нет, это бесполезная штука сейчас. С этого начну. С этого начну. Спид, спид. Сюда. Спид, спид. Ну, тут, конечно, проблема. В этих стрелять нельзя, своего заденешь. В упор стрелять тоже так себе идея. Разве что если в этого без радиуса. Да, в этого можно. С этим повезло. Одну ресалку юзнул. Надо подобрать 2. Иначе беда. Сверху еще духа можно вызвать. Но опять-таки вызывальщица у меня в противоположном углу. К сожалению. Так, Гайчу берешь раз. Тейк. Берешь 2. Тейк. Хилишься. Надеешься на лучшее. Ты. Давай сюда. Удачно. Чуть менее удачно. Так, с одним меньше. Хилом никуда не достанешь. 4 хода сюда идти. Далеко. Попробуем спрятаться здесь. Возможно, на следующем тогда призвать. Armor damage. Так, хорошо. Давай пробуем призвать. Только отсюда откуда-то спрятаться. Так. Хил. Снизить армор. 14 урона. Это 14 урона. И снимать 2 брони. Промах. Ну, попробовать стоило. Попробовать стоило. Найс. Значит, 1 спид, 2 тут. Тут. По роботу. Не совсем по роботу. %. Чем черт не шутит? Нет, промах. Промах. Ага, и этот ушел. О, промах робота. Вообще топчик. Просто топчик. Но эти там друг с другом дерутся, это нормально. Хотя бы их осталось всего лишь 4. О, хорош. Хорош. Дух за меня воюет. Он уже не под моим контролем, но воюет все еще за меня. Тебе армор снимем. 51, 46, 20, 45. Стреляем чисто по проценту. Где больше? Все, испарился. Призывай крысу. Крыса сюда, кусь. Спит, спит, это хорошо. Так, изобиль. Раз. Намек понял. Намек понял. Намек понял. Так, хилка. В кого хилку можно? Тут далеко. Это такое же от отчаяния. Блин, 27%. А ну. Раз. Фартануло. 27% сыграла. 27 я попал, а два раза по 89 я не попал. Коротко о шансах в этой игре. Коротко о шансах. Так, кусь. Этот уже испарился. Все, остался, значит, робот. И после робота уже будет вваливаться босс. Так, ты стой, не двигайся. Тогда это вырубим. Кто еще остался? Кто где остался? Я не могу понять. Вроде ж всех уже убил. Так, ну хорошо, тогда сюда пасемся. Сюда пасемся. Ага. Сближаемся с остальной командой. Ты, наверное, тоже прячься. А вот и Крейт. Crate comes barreling into the room, her weapon drawn. The heavy ballistic plates of her uniform make her look more mechanical than organic, an impression magnified by the coldness of her voice. That was quite a feat, taking down those spider drones. Don't get your hopes up, though. Your skills won't be enough to save you. You sure about that? We've taken down everything you've thrown at us. Well, you worked for Jod-sen. You know what we went up against in the walled city. Your performance in the walled city was impressive, I'll give you that, but I've still got you outgunned. You may be good, but you are not invincible. All it takes is one well-placed bullet. Glad to hear you feel that way. I was afraid that you'd surrender before I got the chance to make you pay for what you did to Nightjar. Who? Oh, right, the collateral damage from the ambush. That was just business. If your friend didn't want to get shot, he shouldn't have gotten in the way. Логично, кстати. Так, поехали. И опять у нее куча спецназа, да? Раз, два, три. До хрена. Просто до хрена. И хп у нее, я полагаю, тоже до хрена. Сюда, зайца. Заяц, давай выноси их. Текс, 82%, да? Надо отойти. 71 тоже достаточно. Крыса меня предала. Какая ирония. Крыса меня предала. Вообще тут бы надо, наверное, сохраниться. В идеале надо было перед началом хода сохраниться, чтобы начать хотя бы с босс-файта. Но раз уж я просрал один ход, потерял крысу, то что уж поделать. Крыса там ничего так дает сдачи. Хоть уже и не на моей стороне. Так, у этого вообще хода нету, да? Окей, окей. О, серьезно? Вы все будете кидаться обратно? У меня просто персонаж становится бесполезным с такими приколами. Вся надежда на гранатомет. Там пистолет вообще урон не наносит. Ух, ёшки. Это было больно. Вся же надежда на гранатомет была, а вы... Найс. Найс. Так, похилиться попробуем. Вроде удалось. Сюда. Вернем крысу на место. Крыса вернулась на место. Грызем пацана. Так, что тут? 16 урона. Попасть бы еще. 4 сквер. Далеко. Не сработает. Не сработает. Дохренище же у нее хп, судя по всему. Просто дохренище. Да, так себе. Ладно. Тогда подходи, будешь лечить. 2 аптечки хотя бы раздам. Раз она в бою бесполезна. Практически. Так, ты... Опять крыса предала. Да что ж такое-то? Не хочется делать каких-то предубеждений насчет крыс. получается, что крыса предает. Снова и снова. И снова предает, просто сходу. 29% оно отстреливает. Это что за дела? Что за дела такие? О, неплохо. Охренеть. Блок. 3 промаха и 1 несчастный раз попадания. Насколько 3 раунда? 3 раунда даем. 3 раунда это хорошо. О, уже лучше. Уже лучше. Но все равно ХП там дохренище. Так, а вот тут не знаю, отойду, наверное. По идее, вражеские ходы крыса должна догрызть. Мне что-то так кажется. Сама. Нет? Да, крыса догрызла. Теперь крыса куда-то убегает. Крыса, вернись. О! Хилимся, живем. Кусай. Ну, попробовать стоило. Хрена себе. Разброс. Так, ты... Не понял. Это ж куда промахнуться надо было. Так, кусь на ХП. Промах. Понял. Понимаю. Понимаю. Промахи это такое дело. Так, а ну сюда раз. Вообще не близко. Вообще не туда. Крыса снова моя. Так, а этот ушлепок не хочет убежать, там, я не знаю, сдаться? Не хочет, да? Обязательно добивать. Добьем? Так, security card. Security card. Your PDA buzzes. The tone is instantly familiar. Kindly Chen is on the line. Pick up. Hello, dear. I take it you've secured the heiress facility in Taipo. You're surprisingly well informed, Auntie. Our dear friend Joma has been just good about sending regular progress updates. It's part of his job there, you know. So tell me, what are you doing here? There. What's being stored in that warehouse? It's an armory. Eris is preparing to take over the HKPF. Ah, I see. There's a long pause. Kindle looks down into her drink, a contemplative look on her face. Finally, she raises it and takes another sip, then sets it down on a nearby table. I know that Q has offered to restore your scene. Make a calm call to Mitsuhima Corporate and get your old life back. I have a counter-proposal for you. Go ahead, I'm listening. Don't turn the warehouse over to anybody. Burn the fucker to the ground. You do this for me and you'll be set with the Yellow Lotus for life. Every privilege that you can imagine, every extravagance, however rare or expensive, it will be all yours for the asking. All for the price of some gasoline and a match. Why? Turning that facility over to Mitsuhama won't stop Ares. It'll force their hands, push them into attempting an immediate takeover of the HKPF. The end result is likely to be long and bloody, and Mitsuhama will lose in the end anyway. If Ares macro technology is set on taking over the Hong Kong police force, nothing will stop them. They have the resources to succeed in the end, no matter how desperately Mitsuhama attempts to resist. Why not just let them do that? What does it matter if Ares controls the police? Use your head, dear. Under Mitsuhama, the HKPF was content to leave well enough alone when it came to the triads and their territories. They knew which neighborhoods were theirs and which were ours, and they did us the courtesy of keeping their noses out of our business. But if Ares will take over, when Ares takes over, that could all change. They'll likely make a priority of replacing us with an organization that they've already got in their pockets, the 45 Knives, perhaps, or the Red Dragon Syndicate. The Yellow Lotus would not survive such a change. The old woman inspects the glass again, dipping a pinky down onto tap at the ball of ice that floats in the center of her drink. It spins away from her finger. She closes her eyes with a sigh. Say nothing. There you have it, dear. You'd heard my offer, and what I'm willing to pay if you do the right thing. I pray that you make the right decision for all of our sakes. Kinli-chan's image flickers on your PDA screen, then winks out of existence. The call has been terminated. А вот тут не уверен на самом деле. Кинли-чан мне не нравится, во-первых. Во-вторых, есть шанс, что две конторы подерутся и все-таки станет попроще жить. Так что поглядим. Q struggles to lift herself into a kneeling position as you approach. She looks up at you with red-rimmed, horribly bloodshot eyes. The veins in her temples are still throbbing, and you can see red crescents where her nails have bitten into the palms of her hands. Vlados is great. She's dead. Good. That's really good. Now, reach into my pocket and grab my PDA. Take the PDA. Good. Now dial 1343 and tell corporate that the warehouse is secure. They'll handle the rest. So what you have to do, but know that if you get your scene restored, our time running together is over. You and Duncan get your lives back, but the team dies in this room. You'll be going someplace that the rest of us can't follow. The line connects. The voice on the other end is smooth and professional. Mitsuhama Corporate, please state the nature of your business. Ну блин. Жестко как-то. С учетом того, что здесь не будет еще одного какого-то дополнения, с учетом того, что нету никаких дополнительных аддонов, в принципе, забеги с Гоббит и Изобель так или иначе заканчиваются, и с Гайчу. В принципе, для меня это будет, скорее всего, открытая концовка. Хотя черт его знает. Ладно, side with Q. I'm with Senior Inspector Q. We've secured Typo Warehouse. It's ready for your people to claim. Acknowledged. Stand by for evac. I am glad that I could help you. We all know where life in the shadow ends. Help me up. We'll wait for them outside. При этом я не чувствую себя предателем, если честно. The typo dogs are silent, save for the gentle lap of the water against the shore. Senior Inspector Q leans against you, hugging your shoulder for support. The bird that you called in should be here any minute now. All we've got to do is wait. What happens after they pick us up? How long until our scenes are restored? I'll submit the paperwork as soon as the recovery team gets here. You and Duncan should officially be people again by the end of the day. Well, I guess this is it, huh? This is where we part ways. Then when your medvac transport gets here, enjoy the flight, huh? Can't imagine we'll be seeing each other again after today. Ну да, вариантики, конечно, такие даются. Он железно хочет покинуть команду. Хотя, в принципе, могли бы шедоуранить, при этом он мог бы оставаться человеком. Ну, дварфом, конечно, но в плане с документами. This is a good, strong team. Do me a favor and keep it that way after I've gone. Gaichu tilts his head, leaning in to listen to the night sky. Apparently satisfied, he returns his attention to you. Not to worry, Vlados. We will carry on without you. This group will persist for as long as I am alive. Assuming that we can prevent Kindly Chen from murdering us in our sleep, that is. She isn't gonna be happy about this. You'll be fine, and for the first time in a long time, so will I. Epilogue. Q waits by your side for the Mitsuhama suborbital transport. The rest of your group is absent. No, they're not your group anymore. Your time working for Kindly Chen is done. The transport arrives and quickly launches you into the sky. Below, a small fleet of aircraft descend like vultures to on the typo warehouse. Mitsuhama reclamation steams come flooding in to seize the advanced technology inside. Ares' conspiracy has failed, its secrets laid bare. What happens from here will be in the Executive Council hands. Without missing a beat, Kiwu calls in evacuation choppers for Duncan and the rest of the task force on the Ben 10. The inspector straightens her back in her seat, but weariness hangs heavily on her eyelids, and she soon begins to fade out of consciousness as your transport's tall engines carry the craft away out of the shadows and into a different life. Не нравятся мне варианты с концовками. A deep bone-rattling shake jolts you awake from a dreamless sleep. It feels like an earthquake, but you can't move. You're strapped to a chair. Gradually, your brain reorients itself and you remember where you are. A transorbital flight, one way from Hong Kong to SeaTac. At long last, you are on your way home, courtesy of Senior Inspector Fiona Q and her connections at Mitsuhama. The flight is nearly empty. A red eye out of Cheklepkok rarely hosts anyone other than high-level corporate types, jet-setting simstars, and freaks like you. You glance up, catching the eye of the flight attendant standing beside your seat. Drink order, sir? We'll be coming by with the cards momentarily. But if you'd like to purchase an alcoholic beverage, I can take your cred stick now. We have beer, wine, and spirits. I'm good, thanks. Very good, sir. You probably should have ordered something. This is gonna be a long flight, even at transorbital speeds. I'm a grown man, Duncan. I can take care of myself. Fair enough. Anyway, that whole Hong Kong debacle. It was a hell of a thing, wasn't it? A hell of a thing. Glad it's over with. I'm done with that kind of life. Shit, I'm with you there. I don't wanna leave Seattle for a long, long time. Carter's dead, and dead. Fuck, I don't even want to think about that. Him trapped in that, wherever he is, with that thing, forever. He did what he had to do. Yeah, that he did. A lot of people got hurt and killed, and worse, a lot more are probably gonna get hurt when the shit hits the fan in Ares' little power grab. But we came through it, you and me, and now we are on the other side again, free. Yeah, it's gonna be hard returning to civilian life. Yeah, I know what you mean. Our time in Shadow sharpened me up and did a lot of the confusing counseling and therapy work that Raid paid for when he took us off the streets. It's gonna be hard not to beat the living shit out of the first person who annoys me when we land in Seattle. But you can't do that in polite society, so I'll have to adjust. There is a moment of silence as another wave of turbulence rocks the plane. Got one last question for you, if you don't mind. You are going to hang around in Seattle after we get home, aren't you? I mean, you're not going to disappear overnight or anything, right? Course not. You're stuck with me for a long while to come. That's good to hear, very good. The cabin shudders again. More turbulence, but it doesn't bother you. You know that you can weather it. You let your eyes flutter shut, and a deep sense of satisfaction washes over you. You've come a full circle. You're finally going home. Finally going home. Seattle feels strange after so much time away. It still feels like home, but it's curiously foreign at the same time. With your scenes back, you and Duncan set about rebuilding the lives that you once had. Rather than returning to Lone Star, Duncan uses the money he saved up to start his own private security firm, taking legitimate work from smaller companies. It's not as glamorous as your old life, but it's safer, more stable. You remain friends, but without Raymond's influence, there is a distance between you that no amount of trust seems to bridge. For your part, your skills are always in demand. Be it helping Duncan when he needs extra backup, investigating mysterious occurrences, or helping corporate clients out of tough situations. It's less of an adrenaline rush than the constant danger of your life in Hong Kong, but it pays well and it's rewarding enough to keep you satisfied. The world turns, seasons change, and life moves on. In the following months, Ares Macro Technology takes over the contract for the HKPF from Mitsuhama. The Tola Harbor complex is completed, and a few heavily militarized police force walks the streets of Hong Kong. Back in Seattle, the city is thrown into chaos when the Ranraku archaeology inexplicably closes itself off from the outside world, trapping its 100,000 residents inside. The UCAS military cordons the structure off, casting a pall over the Metroplex. The feud between the Red Dragon Association and the Yellow Lotus erupts into a full-scale gang war in the early 2060s, resulting in the total destruction of the Yellow Lotus. You are unsure of what has become of Kindly Chen, Gobet, and Isobel, and you never heard word of them again. You sometimes think back of your time in the shadows, but not often. Over time, the memories fade, dissipating into dreams of friends long gone and nightmares of monsters best left in the past. But for now, it's time to look to the future and to the promise that it's still. Короче, что я могу сказать? Оригинальная история мне понравилась. Но, наверное, вторая часть была все же поинтереснее. А вот аддон мне совсем не понравился. То есть, ну ладно, не совсем, но не понравился. Концовка не понравилась. По идее, если есть такие связи, ну типа доступ к крупным корпорациям, можно было, во-первых, предложить документы 3 шедоураннерам, которые были со мной, помимо того, чтобы восстановить мои. Ну, то есть там, блин, операция крупнейшего масштаба. Война между 2 корпорациями. По идее, одна корпорация могла бы уже что-то придумать. Там надавить где-то, подкупить и так далее. Это первый вариант, который был бы, ну, типа, хорошей концовкой, скажем так. Второй вариант, который тоже был бы хорошей концовкой, это, например, документы мне возвращают, но я при этом могу остаться со своей командой. То есть я могу остаться в Гонконге с ребятами и типа продолжить заниматься чем угодно, при этом в любой момент как бы сходить в магазин, купить хлебушка и показать свои паспортные данные. Короче, вот эти моменты немного сомнительные. То получается 3 варианта, они какие-то слишком радикальные. Первый вариант, собственно, который я выбрал, это ты ливаешь со своим братаном, все остаются, ну, типа, прощай, команда, все фигня. Второй вариант, это, типа, сжечь офицера, ну, тоже такое себе, типа, сомнительное мероприятие. И третий вариант, я не помню, какой там был вариант посередине, но тоже, типа, ни рыба, ни мясо. Короче, вот концовки, развязочки немного не понравились. Хотя сюжет в целом хорош, но, короче, именно с моральной составляющей концовочка мне не зашла. Можно было получше. Так, ну в целом игра, конечно, классная. Чуть доработали по сравнению с предыдущей частью интерфейс и прочие плюшки. В общем, в целом годная. И, в принципе, любителям всяких РПГ, я думаю, зашла бы. И люди бы даже сделали те 2 дополнительные задачи, которые здесь были в дополнении. У пирата можно было заказать перед тем, как отправляться сюда, в этот самый, в доки, на склад. Да и, в принципе, во всей основной кампании там еще были какие-то дополнительные забеги, которые можно было брать, пообщаться с какими-то дополнительными персонажами, чего я не сделал. Ну, в принципе, любителям, я думаю, зашло бы. Вот. Но поскольку я, в принципе, во всех РПГ, в которых играю, я всегда делаю только один какой-то выбор, и при этом не обязательно я прохожусь по всем дополнительным заданиям, очень часто я их скипаю, то как бы и здесь сделал то же самое. Но да, если бы это была какая-то такая более триплейная штука, где все диалоги были бы озвучены, и я смотрел всякие мультики в процессе, то, возможно, я бы прошел больше дополнительных заданий. Ну а так, майму шумайму. В общем, на этом спасибо всем за просмотр. Ну и как бы все. До новых встреч.